What's going on, guys? Savage 5050 here. Obviously, this is a pro Second Amendment channel. If you don't support your right to bear arms, I don't even know what the hell you're doing on my channel. Now, clearly, New York City is actually challenging what's going on with the Second Amendment, because in New York, you don't have the right to walk out of your house with a firearm. They consider bearing arms mean keeping a gun inside of your house. Every citizen should have the right to bear arms outside of their home. Firearm, knife. You should be allowed to walk outside with a samurai sword on your back if you choose to do so. You should be able to walk down the street with a hammer if you choose to do so. Obviously, you don't want to aim none of that stuff at anybody, because that would be a threat and you should be arrested. They got us so hypnotized because us as Americans, not all of us, but some of us are so stupid that we're fighting harder for marijuana to be legalized around the country instead of fighting for guns and firearm to be legalized all around the country. And I know some of y'all say, oh, guns are legal around the country. Yeah, to a certain extent. I live in New Jersey. You're not allowed to walk outside of your house with a gun. In New Jersey, you'll get locked up for having a hollow point in your pocket or being found with a bullet inside of your car. That is illegal to have a bullet, a simple bullet. New York's the same. California's the same. It's so many anti-gun states. And then they're arguing this case with the Supreme Court. If New York decide to flip the law, it's going to affect the rest of the country, no doubt. Now, there's a lot of arguments being made to the Supreme Court. And we do have a couple of liberal judges who actually are saying really dumb stuff. Like, there's one guy that's like, oh, well, at a football game or a baseball game or a soccer game, people are drinking and they might get angry. Okay, judge. Establishments and business owners are allowed to not say no guns are allowed in this business. And that goes anywhere. Any pro-gun state you go to, there's still signs on certain business doors that say no firearm, no weapons. Just like you can go to certain places where they still force you to wear a mask if it's a private business. How often do somebody really get into a fight at a hockey game or a football game and have a shootout? How often does that happen? What do you tell a lady that's getting off the bus in New York City at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, or on a subway, and then she faces a threat? Oh, just run as fast as you can. Run to cover. You'll have time to find the police, which is freaking ridiculous, because the Democratic Party that's in support of defunding the police are the same party that don't want us to bear arms. There's always people in high places who don't want us to bear arms. We're going up against a tyrannical government. God wants you to bear arms. God wants you to defend yourself, defend your life. At the end of the day, you have no choice, because the cops are not always going to be there on time to protect you. We love the police. I support them. I back the blue. But they can only be so many places at one time. And when I face a threat, my greatest defense is to have a firearm against a criminal that likely have a firearm. Liberals see guns as a way to kill people. Conservatives, we see guns as self-defense. If the criminals are going to bear arms, us, the law-abiding citizens, should have every single right to bear arms, and it shall not be infringed. New York is clearly in violation of the Constitution. It's a shame about a lot of these states. Philadelphia, for example, determines the outcome of the whole Pennsylvania when it comes to the leadership. There is also an anti-gun laws that face Pennsylvania as well. Now, in PA, it's so confusing that you probably just don't want to carry a gun because every county has their own separate rules. Philadelphia County, you need this permit. You go to certain parts of Lancaster County and you don't need a permit. And so in Pennsylvania, it's so confusing that it's so easy to get arrested because some counties you could carry a gun without any permit, and then some counties you can't. And I'm sure that's not the only state like that. We're fighting too hard for marijuana to be legalized and forgetting about our constitutional right to bear arms. And if they do change that law, if the Supreme Court changed the laws in New York, anybody that's arrested that has a so-called gun charge and they had a legal gun should be immediately released. The government should not lock you up for bearing arms. Now, if you kill somebody unjustified, that's another story. If you aim a gun or a firearm at somebody unjustified, that's another story. The government shouldn't infringe on what type of bullets you could put in your gun. The government should not say you need a firearm purchase card or some kind of permit to purchase bullets and ammo. Yes, I believe in a background check. You shouldn't be a crazy, radical person that check in and out of the mental home. But if you're a perfectly sane person who don't even have a major criminal felony background, what right do you have to infringe on my right to bear arms? And that should also depend on what type of felony you may have. You may then hacked into a computer or something and got arrested or committed some kind of tax fraud. That shouldn't take your right away to bear arms. Now, we got one Supreme Court justice that was talking about, they might get into a fight at a baseball game or a football game. And businesses got their right to say no firearm. And how often does somebody get shot at a football game?
You think that in New York City, people should have a considerable freedom to carry concealed weapons. I think that people of good moral character who start drinking a lot and who may be there for a football game or some kind of soccer game can get pretty angry at each other. And if they each have a concealed weapon, who knows?
So Justice Stephen Breyer, he clearly doesn't understand American people, because people that buy guns legally, they don't just go off and start shooting at football games and baseball games. Now, I know Pookie and Ray Ray, they don't care. They got their guns illegally. They're going to shoot over a pair of Jordans. They're going to shoot because, over a nickel bag of weed. They don't have no sense, no logic. They're idiots. They're morons. Don't judge good people off of the stupid morons that have illegal guns. We need to fight against this. We really need to change these laws in some of these states. New Jersey, New York, California, Illinois, Hawaii, Washington, and more. Some of these states are just getting completely ridiculous with infringing on your right to bear arms and defend yourself. Think about it. I live in New Jersey. If somebody breaks into your house, you got to give them an interview before you shoot them, after they pull a gun out on you first. A castle doctrine, it doesn't really mean much in New Jersey. But if somebody breaks in my house, I'm going to do what I need to do. Even though I don't have no guns because I lost all my guns in a boating accident. But the thing is, what do y'all think about the Second Amendment? Is it going to change? Do y'all have any hope? Are we closer to legalizing marijuana all around the country before we create constitutional carry all around the country? Which one do you think is closer? Which one do you think is more important, marijuana or the right to bear arms? Which one should conservatives focus on more? Democrats, Republicans, I think that we should be bipartisan with this one. American people deserve the right to bear arms. It's our constitutional right. It's our God-given right. Anyway, I'm Savage 50/50. It's a couple of more points I'm sure that I'm missing. But y'all know where I stand on it. What do you think? Anyway, like my video, share my video, subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to y'all shortly. Peace.